Good morning. How are you guys? See, I have a couple people on bright and early. Thank you for joining at 7 o'clock. I know we moved it a little bit earlier. So we're just going to get you up and ready for your day just an hour earlier. Have I got some regulars on, or do we have some new people today? Let me know in the comments. We're going to continue with where we're at. We're going to repeat some more drills that we've been doing, and then add some slight variations and add one new drill today. So we'll get started. We're going to start with the warm-up. Again, it'll be the same as we've done the previous weeks. Very simple, but you're going to pull your knee towards your chest, hold it for a couple of seconds, and then step, pull up your other knee into your chest. And just do an even number on each leg, depending on the space. I'm able to get a couple in here, which is okay. If you can get more in, that's even better. And we'll go through that twice. And then the second warm-up drill will be knee up, grab your ankle, and then bring it back behind your butt. Again, hold it for just a couple of seconds, and then step into the next one. And hopefully you'll feel this stretch in your quads. And you may find your hips are a little tight as well. All perfectly normal, good things this early in the morning. So we'll do that one once more. Just to loosen up a little bit further, and you can push the stretch just a tiny bit further. Good morning. You can pull that stretch just a tiny bit further on the second go around of doing it. And we're not looking to totally overextend, but you can just pull it just a little bit further than the first time you did it. And the third and final stretch will be really to get our hips opened up a little bit more. So this is the position you're looking for. Pull your ankle up and into your body, almost so your heel is over your other hip. Ideally, this needs to be a little flatter, a little bit more level. But if you're tight like I am, that's probably not going to be quite realistic. So that's the position. I will pull it for a second, and again, just take one step forward and stretch it out. And we'll do that one twice, the same as we did the others there. You can let us know, but would imagine that you feel a little bit tighter just an hour earlier than you did starting at 8 o'clock. Just a little bit less time to get up and moving. So the first drill we're going to do today is the A skip, which we've been practicing pretty much every week, I think, actually every week. So we're going to continue with that and really try and perfect it, because it's a really good one to perfect the basics of doing all the other drills we're going to do. So remember, we've been doing the A march, we're going to go straight into the skip though today. And you can slow it down just to get that motion, and then start speeding it up. But just remember to get a really snappy foot underneath your body. Push the foot into the ground and drag it back. A little bit exaggerated, but exactly what you're going to be doing when you're trying to run fast in a race. So we're going to do the A skip one more time. Get me out of breath early in the morning. So hopefully that has been getting a little bit easier week on week now. Again, the keys is really smacking that foot back into the ground underneath you and dragging it back, and then being nice and tall. And then once you kind of get that motion, you can start worrying about exactly what your arms are doing. You should be using your arms, opposite arm, opposite leg, just as if you were running. But if it feels like when you're trying to get quicker that it's easier to break it down, I would initially focus on the foot action. So the second drill we've been doing a lot of is the B skip. So the A is the one where your knee goes up, straight back down, and the B is up and out. So you're kicking that foot out. And you should feel that a little bit in your hamstring when you pull it up and then out there. And remember to try and get, again, like we said in the warm-up, but an even number of reps on each leg. So we're going to alternate leg as we go through the drill, and in whatever space you're in, just try and keep it even. So with the B skip, turn around and go straight back into it in the other direction. And then you can take a little breather. We want to get ideally around 10 meters worth of reps in before we take a break. Has anyone been practicing these outside of this session? Monday and Sunday would be a great day to do it. And if you have, hopefully it's really helping. So we're going to go to the B skip one more time. Actually, we're going to do it 2 more times. But turn around. And if you are using your arms, it should be as snappy as your leg almost. Because the quicker you move your arms, generally when you're running, the faster your leg cadence is going to become. So when this leg is up, out, and snaps back, the arm should be moving just as quickly. It feels a little bit unnatural when you do it just standing there, but you want the whole movement to be quick and fast. So the drill we've added the last couple weeks is the scissor. And if you remember, you can start in place. This is the motion, but we want to speed it up just a little bit. And remember that foot, again, is snapping down underneath you, and you should feel it propelling yourself forward. And in the small space we're in, we're going to try and take as many miniature steps forward as possible. So as many reps in the smallest possible space. So start out slow. And even in such a small space, you can probably really feel your heart rate getting up as you really try and maximize those number of steps in the space. Ideally, an extra meter or so here would be great, because you'd probably start getting to the next stage of fatigue, and it would really force you to work on not breaking down. So catch your breath, and then we're going to go through this one twice more. And remember, you can always start slower, start on a slower cadence, and just gradually work into it as you get more proficient and you feel you're able to go quicker. It's better that you get the motion correct, more so than just doing it fast and doing it wrong. So start out slow, gradually speed it up. And then just go to the end of your space. And the more reps you get in, the more you're going to feel like you're working out. So take a little bit of a breather on that, and then we're going to do it one final time. So this is the time to So you've had 2 practice attempts almost, and we're going to try and do the full drill in the space you're in as best you can and as fast as you can from start to finish. So we're going to try and remove the stage of going a little bit slower and working into it. We just want to start out and then start moving forward. And then once you complete, we are good on that one. Let us know if you feel like you want some specific pointers on improving a specific motion, and we can definitely start to focus on a couple of those bits. So the last 2 weeks we've done the fast A and B single leg drill with the scissor in the middle. 2 weeks ago we did the A, last week we did the B. So now we're going to do A and B in the exact same session. So just a little refresher is you're going to start out, we're going to start with the A drill. So that one. And you can start out nice and slow, get that motion, and we're going to do just our left leg. So you want a couple of steps in between each A drill on the left leg. So leg up, couple of strides, leg up. So now we're going to try and speed it up. And again, it's all about snapping that foot down underneath. So we'll quickly turn around, and we'll go back, left leg in the opposite direction. And then take a little break, stand tall, shoulders up, and just take some deep breaths in. We're going to go do the exact same thing now on our right leg. So we'll do one direction on the right leg, turn around, and then come back to your starting point again using just the right leg. I'll start this end. And the same thing applies. You can start nice and slow, just so you feel like you get the motion and you know exactly which foot is going at which time. The big thing with drills beyond just improving your running form and just making yourself a little bit faster is it is going to significantly improve just your body position awareness. So you know exactly what each part of your body is doing at each time and you feel like you're in control of it. So continue with the A drill. Turn around, and then back in the same direction. And I apologize if you already did it whilst I was talking. That is absolutely great. Whew. A little bit warmer today. So let us know if you feel you're kind of starting to get that A motion down with the scissor. So now we're going to do the same drill, but just alternate legs. So go slow. So a couple strides in between, and then just the opposite leg's going to come up. And you'll probably find, if you're in such a small space like me, that you're going to get barely any in there. So if you can, maybe go outside, find a long hallway. Hopefully soon you can get on the track, and doing the more repetitions will definitely help you begin to get the feel for the drill. So one more time with that one. Start out. It does feel really short when you do it on such a short distance, but it should really help you focus on doing exactly what you need to do before you run out of space. So the following on from this one, we've been doing the B skip. So we're going to do the B skip and the scissor combined. And again, we're going to start out single leg. So on your left leg, we'll be going scissor and out. It feels like it's a significantly different motion, but it's not. So your leg is up and then out. And then as you fall forward, or move forward I should say, your foot's going to come back down underneath you, and then when you're running, your next stride is going to go straight back out. So just a single leg, we'll start left leg. Turn around and straight back into the same drill with the same leg. And you guessed it, we're going to move straight on from our left leg to our right leg. Start out. Nice and slow. Then we're going to go straight into it quicker. And if you already started out quicker, we're just going to do the next one, or the one I'm about to do, just as quick. And if you feel like you can push the pace a little bit more and get a little bit quicker, then I definitely am behind doing that. It's a little bit easier for me going this way because I have less wall to worry about. So, same thing, we're just going to double up on the leg now. So left and right leg. I'm going to come back just so I have a little bit more space. So remember that, just a couple little strides in between. So your next foot and your leg is ready to push into the ground and take off. So one more time, and then we will continue with the session. So you get yourself set. And what you'll probably find yourself doing is your step gets a little bit bigger as you pick up momentum. And there's really not a problem with this one. You just want to get a good distance and even reps in as you're moving forward. Next drill we've definitely been doing for a few weeks is the ankle dribble, which if you remember is really you moving forward, small steps, and just stepping over your ankle. So your foot's coming off the floor just a couple of inches, as if you're stepping over a tennis ball or something. I know you guys can lift your foot up higher, but that's not what we want here. We want just a really small step off the ground, but then a quick motion, same as everything, coming back down. So foot nice and dorsiflexed, small step forward as you're moving over your ankle. And again, this is one that we're looking to get as many steps in as possible in the space that you're in. Doesn't matter how big or small it is, just aim for maximal, fast, small steps. You probably feel like you're doing just a little bit of a silly run, and it is a little bit because we're just breaking down some of the running motion into a much less of a movement. But you're really practicing on getting your ankle, knee, and hip aligned with very minimal movement. And then last week we followed on from that drill with the calf dribble. So it's the exact same thing, but your foot's coming up just a little bit higher. So you're coming up midway over your calf. Imagine you're stepping over a soccer ball or something. So this step is becoming just a couple of inches higher off the ground. Again, I know you guys can go higher, but we're going to stick right on that calf. And small steps, and try and control it when your body is trying to force you to go quicker. And resist the temptation to do high knees when you do this. So when you do the high knee, the focus and the force is on this downward drive into the ground, and then when the one foot hits, it's immediately driving your other hip into the air. So that, like I said, that's the focus of the high knee, is practicing that forceful downward motion. With this one, we're looking for forward motion. So we're looking for that snap underneath your body, right on the center mass, foot down to the ground and pushing back to propel yourself forward. It is a very minimal difference, I guess, and it can feel almost the same, but you just want to feel that your motion is going forward more so than vertically. And those two run essentially on from one another. So the ankle dribble is one that you would do maybe twice at a track when you do these drills. And then the next drill after that immediately would be the calf dribble. So it's just a natural progression as you go through the drill series. Ideally, you probably want to do these a couple of times on each leg. So if it's a single leg drill, do it twice. If it's a drill that is double legged, I would do it twice. So obviously if that's single leg, you end up doing it 4 times. We're doing it twice on your left and twice on your right. But 2 is a good general number when you're trying to warm up. It's not going to overexert you for whatever workout you have coming next, but it's a good amount to get you ready, warmed up, and prepared to run. So the 8th drill today is the A exchange on the wall, which we've been doing again. So you'll lean into the wall. And this is the one with the pause, if you've been with me for the last couple of weeks. So it'll be up, well, you can start in this position, and then your right leg will come down, left leg up, left leg down, and you'll end up back in this position, and that's where we'll pause. So 1, pause, and then we'll pause, and pause. So we're going to do it 5 times on your right leg, then we're going to switch over and do 5 on your left. And we're just looking for the really forceful, powerful step in, and then a really controlled pause at the end of the drill. So lean into the wall, and feel like you're in a good lean where you're not too close or you're not too far away, and then If you're too close or you're too far away, which I feel like I was there a little bit, I was a little too far back on one of the steps, you'll feel that when your foot comes down, you just lose all the power that you can exert into the ground to push you back up. And the other thing with that is to try and keep your feet in the same place. So when this leg comes down, that every time you do it, you're landing in the same place and you're not moving closer or further to or away from the wall. So now we're going to do the left leg. We'll do 5 on your left, and then we'll go through one more set of each on that one. So leg up. And that pause can just be a second, maybe a little less, but you just want enough of a pause that you can control yourself and feel yourself stopping dead. So we're going to go back to doing that one more time. So one more time on your right leg. Up. Some mornings you're going to feel a little less snappy than other mornings, and that's totally fine. And the mornings you really don't feel like it's working out for you and it's a struggle are the days that you just need to really focus on your form and making sure that mechanically it's correct. Because down the line, that's what's going to really see the biggest improvement for you. So one more time on your left leg. And then once you've done that one, take a little bit of a breather, and we have one more drill for you. So we're gonna do the same thing, but we're gonna do it standing. Standing is a good start. Ideally, we want to move into moving forward. So you'll be up, opposite arm, opposite leg. So same position we started on the wall. And then you pause. I would say do 5 left leg. We'll do 5 on your right leg just standing. The standing is really just to help you get an idea of exactly the motion we're going to do. So just get a couple in on each leg. So we'll start up, move in, and then the movement is going to be a hop in between each step. So you're going to be really practicing holding the position whilst moving and then driving it into the ground. And again, start out doing this in place if you feel like it's going to be easier to get the motion down. So we'll start out. So we'll be about 3 hops in between each fast leg action. And then, of course, we're going to switch over legs. Get an even amount on each side. So the pointers are all the same. It's good knee drive, level with your hips, good dorsal flex foot, so you feel like your toes are trying to touch your knee. And then generally you're nice and tall and have a neutral back. So that's standing tall but in a more natural fashion. You're not forcing yourself to be all rigid and locked up. So we're starting to get through a whole series. We have a couple more weeks and then we're gonna do our final session will end up being an entire run through of 2 drills of pretty much everything we've done from week 1. So I definitely recommend keep practicing. Maybe, like I said earlier, do this again on Sunday or Monday, so that you feel a little bit refreshed and remember some of the movements coming into next Thursday. We're always going to start with some of the basics and start to progress them a little bit more. Please let us know if there's anything you feel like we're missing and you want to know more about. Definitely, if you enjoy our content, we have much more coming, so hit that subscribe button. But otherwise, guys, thank you for joining me this morning, and I'll see you next Thursday bright and early. Have a great weekend.